Hello once again everybody, Thomas here and welcome back to SFF180. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, as you have doubtless noticed by now, there was not a Mailbag Monday this week. Last week, only one package turned up in the mail all week, and so it was time to maybe sort of take a break from it. To be perfectly honest with you, it's kind of nice actually to have a week off from all of that, especially the preceding week, which was this massive bombardment of books from Random Penguin. And so what I've decided to do this week is finally announce a thing that I have been thinking about doing for a couple of months now, and I've just finally decided to go for it. And that is, I am hosting my very first read-along. Yes, thank you. Okay, the whole motivation behind this was to get you guys, even if I have to drag you kicking and screaming doing it, into reading more science fiction. Because as I think that we have all seen, the majority of genre fiction SFF reading being done, especially among booktubers and lovers of booktube, tends towards fantasy much more than science fiction, epic fantasy most of all. But I gotta be honest with you, there really is more to life than dragons and wizards and crafty thieves. There's more than insanely OCD magic systems. There's more than hot 17-year-old assassins crushing on the bad boy prince. Not to say that there isn't a whole lot of wonderfully entertaining fantasy out there, but if you're looking for a literature of the imagination, I gotta say, compared to a lot of what is going on in modern science fiction, fantasy novels can seem just so tropey. And as I pointed out in my Overlooked Science Fiction Booktube Babbles video a few weeks back, when it comes to just pure flights of wonder, science fiction these days, all bets are off. And I know a lot more of you would really love reading this stuff if you gave it a shot, and so now I'm just going to give you no excuse not to. So today I'm announcing the read-along for Carl Schroeder's series Virga. So to give you the basic premise of the whole thing, Virga is a 5-volume series that premiered about 10 years ago. It is set in an artificial habitat that is essentially a massive space balloon. It is this huge, hollow shell out in deep space filled with air, 5,000 miles across. Inside, it's all zero gravity, but human beings live there on spinning habitats, basically, that function as independent nation states. And there are wars, there are pirates, there is all of the makings for high adventure are in this series. And the reason I've chosen Virga for this read-along is I think that it will be accessible to people who are curious about getting more into science fiction, but who are a little bit intimidated by the specter of hard science fiction especially. In Virga, the stories fit more the mold of high seas adventure almost, just in the skies. And so if what you are used to reading is the kind of adventure-based storytelling that you usually get in epic fantasy, this is a science fiction series where you don't have to worry about diving into it and then immediately you get clotheslined by all sorts of complicated physics jargon and that sort of thing. Now, I did mention that the whole series is 5 volumes long, but for this read-along, we're just going to start, at least initially, with the first 2 books. And that is super convenient because those 2 books are currently in print in a trade paperback bind-up edition. So the first 2 novels are Son of Suns and Queen of Candace. And they are in print together, as I said, in a single volume edition called Virga Cities of the Air. So if you'd like to participate in this read-along, if you think that this is a series that sounds interesting and different and fresh and new and exciting to you, there are 2 things you should do. First, and most obviously, order the book. In the description below, you'll find Amazon links for both US and UK Amazon, so that should take care of that. Secondly, join the Goodreads group. It's very simple, just discussion threads for each book. I'm just encouraging you to read the book at your own pace and then offer your commentary. Write your reviews, talk about what you think is interesting about it, what works for you, what doesn't, the usual thing that goes along with the read-along. Now, as for the timing of this read-along, I've decided to start it officially on June the 24th, that is a Friday. June the 19th is the last day of Tome Topple, which is a very, very popular readathon going on right now that a lot of booktubers are taking part in, and so I didn't want to conflict with that. I think that there are some other read-alongs and readathons that expire right around the same time, and so I wanted to give people a little bit of time to go ahead and clear their current TBRs, and then have plenty of time to plan to work in the Virga read-along at the end of the month, when it'll be a lot easier. And then it will go for 4 weeks. Basically 2 weeks to read Son of Suns, 2 weeks to read Queen of Candace. That should be plenty of time to work Cities of the Air into whatever your existing TBR is for that period already. So, Phase 1 of the read-along goes from June 24th to July 22nd. At that time, if there's enough interest and you want to continue the series, books 3, 4, and 5, then we can start Phase 2 of the read-along at that time, and we'll figure out dates at that point. So go ahead, order the book, get on over and join the Goodreads group, and if you want to spread the word about this read-along on Twitter and other social media like that, then use the hashtag ReadVirga, share this video, and yeah, I am looking forward to getting some of you guys reading more science fiction like you should be doing, because I do think you'll enjoy these books. They're a lot of fun, and I guess apart from that, until I see all of you next time, happy reading!